Welcome, Coven Members, and welcome to our September wrap-up.
Woo!
As you can see, I think we read even more books than we did in August. How many books did you read?
I ended up doing 11. What about you?
I did 7.
That's okay.
Yeah, 7.
That's really good, though.
Yeah, and not all the books we read are pictured here. We'll do our best to give a good summary of these books or reviews, what we think. No spoilers, so don't worry about spoilers. And then at the end of this video, we're going to go over our October hopefuls. It's spooky season, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I already started spooky season.
I think I did too, actually.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
To me, spooky season is year-round.
And yeah, same.
Yeah.
First book I finished in September was It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. We actually went to an author event that Lindsay didn't join this time, but that's okay. We went and saw Tessa Bailey. So I've actually never read any Tessa Bailey books, but we went to an author event for Tessa Bailey for her new book, Picture Perfect.
Did you get to meet her?
Yeah, we did actually get to meet her we got a group picture with her and it was all like pretty fast, but she's actually super funny and really nice. It was super late at night, so I was a little tired. Yeah, all in all, it was just a really good event. They had this was really cute. They had vendors there that like local vendors selling like t-shirts and stickers, like a whole bunch of stuff. We usually don't have that author event. So I thought that was a cute little touch added to that. And then they also had like a booked theme drink. You actually suggested that I should read this book because it's going to be turned into a movie.
That's what the internet told me.
I do know that it's a series. This book follows Piper and Brendan, and Piper is a well-off girl who pretty much has everything she ever wanted. The paparazzi follows her, and then she gets into a lot of trouble. She's not really, has a lot of depth to her, so she kind of gets in these relationships, and then, people use her and then move on. Then she kind of acts out and then gets in trouble. So one night after a guy breaks up with her, she acts out. So her stepdad cuts her off and then sends her off to a little town to kind of teach her like humility and like the value of a dollar, pretty much. So this town is a fishing town, and her real dad, who passed away, actually lived there and had a bar. So her and her sister pack up and go, and kind of just follows their story through this town. And Piper meets Brendan. He's a grumpy fisherman. So the banner between Brendan and Piper is really cute, and I did enjoy that. But I also love a grumpy man, and he definitely gives grumpy vibes. I would call this an enemies to lovers. They weren't technically enemies, but they didn't like each other at first. But their relationship felt really forced and quick. And to me, I like a little bit of more tension and like build up. It kind of got predictable for me, which I do feel like a lot of rom-coms are predictable to me. Not a huge rom-com girl, but I enjoyed it. It just wasn't for me.
I read Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. We went and saw R.F. Kuang. She was promoting, yes, all hail the goddess, the queen. She was promoting this book, and I had to read it immediately. I am not going to give a full review because I've already done that. We have an R.F. Kuang vlog that you can go and check out, where I give you a book tour of the deluxe edition of this book and give you full-blown review of it. Overall, what this story is about is there's 2 PhD students, Alice and Peter, and their professor has died. And they are PhD students of magic, basically. And so they are worried that they are not going to get jobs because he was going to write them recommendation letters. So what's the natural thing that you do?
Let's go to hell.
We go to hell. We go to hell to get our professor back. And so that's what they do. And that is what the story is about. One thing that I do want to address is so many people were like, this reads too much like a textbook. It's too academic. You have to read all these other things before. No, I didn't read any of the required texts before, and I completely understood it. It took me a little bit to get into the writing style. I would say about 100 pages. But once I got it, I was down. I was in it. I love this book. It is really good for spooky season. Yeah, I really recommend it. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah. I did like how she when we went to go see R.F. Kuang, how she was saying that she wants to write books that like make people really think that are not
Mhm.
like easily fed to you.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so it might be a little bit more challenging. I haven't read it, but I did get that vibe of this book might be a little bit more challenging to read, but
Mhm.
if you are up for that, then
Yeah.
it's like I've heard nothing but great things from anybody that has read it. So,
Yeah, for sure. This is a book that you have to lock in.
mhm.
It's not one that I could read just passively, or like when I did want to read it, I wanted to sit down for at least 30 minutes
Mhm.
to read it through and stuff. It's not one I could just read a chapter here, a chapter there as in passing.
Yeah, you have to like get your mind into it
Yeah.
to
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily require a lot of brain power. It's in a place that is very hard to describe because no one's ever actually been there. You
mhm.
know, we've also never been to like a castle in medieval times, but like that is a place that we have references for and stuff. This is a brand new place that she has to completely like make on her own, and everyone's interpretation is going to be different. The way that I envision it is going to be different how you envision it when you read it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really good.
The next book I read was the Book of Azrael. This is our book series of the year for our book club.
We're going to make a video later in the year about the series so far because the fourth book comes out later this month. We'll all read it, the whole series. Of course, as we learned the other day, it's not done after the fourth book.
Sorry.
It's
I
fine.
didn't know.
So, what did you think of it initially?
This book started off a little bit slow to me, but I do feel like a lot of fantasy books that are worth it start off slow because you got to do a lot of the world building and the getting familiar with their characters, which I do say with this book, she does really well of giving you a lot of character development. So I do appreciate that. And I think that that is why I rated it so high. And I do enjoy it because I felt connected to these characters. And I didn't feel like it was like a typical high fantasy book that we have already read. I enjoyed having the FMC being the villain and not the guy. The guy is technically the hero in this story and the female is the villain. I thought that was freaking cool and different from like a lot of other books that we read. So
Mm.
I enjoyed it. I'm excited to read the rest of the series.
Mhm. I'm excited for you to read the rest of it because I'm caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'll get caught up probably hopefully this month.
you will. You
I
will.
will. I can do it.
I read Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This was a highly anticipated trilogy for me. It's been on my shelves for a couple of years now, and I have
Same.
bought all three of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The book is about Amelia, who is a witch, but she lives in a place where witches are kind of condemned. So they kind of live in hiding. The whole family is witches. And then all of a sudden, her twin sister ends up murdered. Yeah. So she is trying to find the murderer of her sister. And then she comes across a prince of hell named Wrath.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, well, I don't know if you know, I didn't know. There are multiple princes of hell.
Oh, like Crescent City.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like,
Okay.
yeah, and they're all the seven deadly sins, basically. So, like, wrath,
Mhm.
gluttony, envy. We meet several of them. We don't meet all of them. Um, I don't think I'm gonna meet the rest of them because I am not going to continue with the series.
Dang, it sounds interesting though.
This if there was a book that was Lindsay coded, I would say it's this one. It
Yeah.
has witches and princes of hell and murder.
Murder.
It has the creepy vibes.
Did you just not connect with the characters?
So actually for me, this was not a character issue, it was a plot issue.
Oh, was it like a lot of plot holes?
I would say even more so pacing. I think
Pacing.
pacing was really difficult for me in this book. It was very much, and I mean, I know that all these books are at its core what I'm about to describe, but man, it just you could see it and feel it. It's, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to you. Okay, now I gotta go here. Now I gotta go there. Now I gotta go here. Now I gotta," and I'm just like, "What?" It wasn't like nothing was like really pushing her to do these things. It was just kind of like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing now," or like, or back and forth to like 2 or 3 different locations, like very often. And
Mhm.
I'm kinda like, "Can we just stay in one spot and, like, figure this out?" You know,
Mhm.
because it's all in, like, the same town
Yeah.
and everything. I don't know, and then, I mean, I know that there's, like, a romance between her and Wrath. I mean, I feel like it's pretty dang obvious that there is, but, like, it also moved very slowly and was very instant from his point of view,
Mm.
and I'm kinda like, "Honestly, you have no reason to like her right now."
Yeah, I don't like that too. Like where there's just like one day he wakes up and it's like, "Oh, I love her." And I'm like, "But why?
Yeah, like,
Give me
kinda
something."
he did a lot of self-sacrificing for someone that was, like, I mean, from his point of view, like, kinda mean to him.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I'm disappointed. I really wanted to like it. I started the audiobook. The audiobook is actually really, really good. It
Mhm.
has, like, a lot of, like, eerie, like, background music and certain parts and stuff, which really added to, like, the tension and stuff.
And it's not a graphic audio?
It's not a graphic audio,
Ooh.
no. And then I even switched whenever I struggle, I try to switch mediums. So I was struggling with the audiobook, which normally it's the opposite. Normally I'm struggling with physical and I switch to audio. But
Mhm.
I did the opposite with this one and it still didn't help. Usually if there's a series I'm feeling kind of mid about, usually the ending like really gets me hooked and this just didn't do it.
Dang.
So it's sad cuz again, it looks like it's for me.
It's so pretty too. Yeah. But like have you heard it, cuz I haven't read it either, but it's been on my TBR.
Mhm.
Uh if like the second book is, cuz sometimes that happens, is like the first book isn't that great, but then the
Mhm.
second book is just like,
See, what I've heard is that the first and second book are the strongest, and the third one is not the best, is what I've heard. So
so you're not gonna even try the
I
second one?
no, I gave it. I mean, because I read this towards the beginning of the month, and so it's been about a month, and I haven't thought about this book ever since.
Not even
I
a
have too many books to read, so
and not enough time.
yeah. So
But maybe you'll pick it up later in life.
maybe. Probably not. So yeah, it's disappointing because I just thought this would be a really good series for me, but that's
Yeah.
just my feelings. No offense, Miss Carrie. Anyone that can write a book is amazing in my eyes.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
I just want that to be super duper clear.
It just wasn't for you,
It
and
just
that's
wasn't for
okay.
me. That's
Yeah.
okay.
My next book that I read was actually an ARC, and I found her on TikTok. She is actually a romance writer. So weird for me that I signed up for this because I'm not a big romance reader, but it's more of a contemporary. It's Dangerous Little Lies by Charlie Lennon.
Mhm.
It is about like a high society group of kids, and there's also the secret society within them. Follows Carter and Serafina, and Carter is your charming, kind, funny guy, and he's also the most eligible bachelor in the town.
Mhm.
So, his family had passed away when he was young, so he inherited like a ton of money. And then Serafina is kind of like your typical girl next door, and she just struggles a lot with being confident and asking for what she wants. But Carter is her older brother's best friend. Now, I do love that because I love an older brother's best friend. That's what intrigued me. And then also Secret Society intrigued me.
Mhm.
And then also like a murder mystery kind of aspect to it as well. So I was hooked with just those tropes alone. Carter's always loved Serafina. They've gotten along really well throughout the years. And then they kind of play this little game of truth or dare. And that's how they kind of sidestep around, like, oh, I'm your brother's best friend.
Mm.
And then they can kind of flirt innocently. It is already released. You can get it on Kindle from Charlie Lennon's bookstore. She's on TikTok as well. You can also get it from Barnes and Noble and Amazon. If you are a romance person, I highly suggest it. So this will be a series, but they're all standalone and it'll go through the group of friends. So I'm interested in reading the rest of them, which is not normal for me because I typically, yeah, I'm not a big romance person, but it kind of gave me vibes of like the Ravenhood series. Everything wasn't predictable. There was plot to it. So I enjoyed it. Finish up the Broken Bloodline series by Sadie Kincaid. Bound in Blood. This is the third book of this series. If you like vampires, if you like reverse harem, if you like professor-student relationship, read this series. There's a lot of spice to it. There is a plot as well. I did connect with the characters.
Is this a trilogy? Like, is it done?
It is a trilogy. It is done. She does have spin-off books about each of the guys and how kind of like where they got to. I haven't read those, but I do plan to read them. This would be really great for Halloween spooky season because you have your vampires, you have all the other magical elements to it.
I read Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. And so a little bit of like reading order lore for Carissa Broadbent. So this is part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. So it is going to be a 6-book series, but it's 3 different duologies. The first 2 duologies are done. The first duology is Serpent and Wings of Night and Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. You should read this novella. It's like 150-ish pages. You should read it between book 1 and book 2. I read this after book 2 and I still this was 5 stars. This book is perfection. There is not, the only thing I would change about it is make it longer. But honestly, I think because it's short is kind of what makes it so good. It's very lean and to the point, and the story between these two are just beautiful. There was a line in here, it was a whole paragraph, and I read it like 5 times because it was just like so pretty and so like heart like wrenching, but in a good way. I desperately wish I read this before book 2 because I feel like it would have added more to book 2.
So is it about Araya and Rain?
No, it is not. It's about Lilith and Vale. Vale is a vampire that belongs to the same house as Rain and is kind of friends with Rain. And then Lilith is a mortal. So it's about their relationship and the thing that they accomplish together. And then they make an appearance in book 2. And I would say that like they're pretty, I wouldn't say they're prominent characters, but they definitely are part of the story of book 2. So like it gives a lot more background information on them.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if anything, this shows you can still enjoy book 2 without it. But man, I just wish, because they kind of, for book 2, they kind of came out of nowhere. And I was kind of like, who are these people? You know, so this adds a lot more context.
Yeah. Okay. I've read the first book, but I haven't read the second one. So glad you did that for me.
My plan was to actually read Carissa Broadbent's other series, Daughter of No Worlds. But I don't know. Her 4th book in the series came out earlier this year. And I've been seeing a lot of people read it, and I was like, oh, I haven't read that 3rd book. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just read, because there's 2 standalones, which we'll talk about the other one later. I was like, this is so short. Let me just like knock it out. I've heard great things about it. And this like reignited my fire for getting back into the series.
I'm going to have to do that.
You know what? You don't even have to read the dang series. Just read this book.
if you do one thing at all,
read this book
now,
please. It's just it's so well written. It's so good.
We have our book club book for the month of August, which was 7 Year Itch. That was picked by our Coven member Tanya.
Shout out Tanya.
Yes. However, this is the 2nd book in the Mountain Men series. I can't start with book 2, so I needed to read book 1 because I guess I'm crazy. First book in the Mountain Men series is 9-Month Contract. This follows Wyatt and Trista. The whole series is about these brothers that live on a mountain. They're kind of sworn off women because they've been burned, and it kind of just follows their life. But Wyatt, however, he's a grumpy man, which I love, and he wants to become a dad. So he is trying to find someone to be a surrogate. Enter in Trista. Trista and him have come into an agreement. Trista doesn't want to be a mom, but she needs money because she wants to have like a wildlife rescue animal center. It's all about the animals. Wyatt has a goat named Millie. This is a rom-com. Again, I'm not the biggest romance girly, but this first book was really cute. I love the connection between Trista and Wyatt. I felt like it wasn't rushed. It had good pacing to it. The only thing I just didn't really vibe with is she referred to herself as an inseminated cow. I know, it just kind of felt weird to me. Just say that you're a surrogate, but she didn't like it. I guess she was just trying to disassociate from the baby and herself. She's like, I'm not going to be the mother of this child. So
Yeah.
keeping herself distant from it. I get it in that and like aspect of it, but she is she is described as like a bigger girl. So I don't know, it just kind of felt like a little bit derogatory for me. It just kind of felt a little off and it just didn't gel right with me. So that was the only really big thing about it. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
So I was in the camp of I'm not reading book 1. I'm only going to read the book club book.
She's a crazy person.
Yep. And I am here to tell you that you don't have to read the first book. You don't have to.
You don't have to. They are standalones, but they do connect.
Yes, for sure. Trista and Wyatt are in book 2. And I mean, it does spoil how the ending is in a sense, But I mean, did we really think it was gonna go any other way?
Not. No. No, we didn't.
Because I am also in the camp of like a straight up like rom-com is not typically my type of book. But that's why I love book club, because it pushes me to read stuff out of my comfort zone. Just like, a few months ago, Project Hail Mary. I did have it, but it would have been way further on the TBR, and then I ended up loving it. So, that's what book club's all about. So the 7-Year Itch is about Calder and his brother's wife's best friend, Dakota.
Mouthful.
Yes. Basically, they're both kind of forced to go to this wedding together, and then they kind of discover things about each other. They do not like each other because he was renovating her house and she claims that he destroyed it, and he was like, she was so controlling. So they are definitely like in the enemies category. After the wedding vacation situation, not that they get to know each other more, but like they kind of come more to an understanding, and she is fresh off of divorce. And so he's like, hey, I'll help you get your mojo back, basically, and then we can part ways.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what that's about.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
I didn't vibe with this one as much. In the first book, I loved Calder. I loved his little jabs that he made at Wyatt. He was just a funny brother. And I was really looking forward to his story. I don't know. I just didn't connect with him as much as I thought that I would, because I actually really liked him in the first book.
Gotcha. We're going to go more in depth in our book club update that we're going to post later on. We're going to do a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section. You know how I said there was 2 standalone books?
You're just on a Carissa.
I am.
Train.
6 Scorched Roses like
Sucked
put a fire in me. So the 6 Scorched Roses is in between books 1 and book 2, and I double checked Carissa's Instagram herself multiple times to make sure this needs to be read before book 3. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror needs to be read after Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, but before Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So it is not a novella like Six Scorched Roses. It is a full-blown book. It's a shorter book, but it's like 300-ish pages, a little over.
Yeah.
Um, so this one to me was not 6 stars like Six Scorched Roses was, but it was still very good. This follows Selena, who follows one of the goddesses, Acacia. And so she is highly trained as like an assassin and a warrior. They wear blindfolds over, like they give their eyes to Acacia. And so she does a lot with like threads.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how she sees, that is how she like that's how she fights, that's how she finds people and sees things, is through threads. And so
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
yeah, it's a really neat concept. She's been tasked to kill Atreus, and who is the general of the House of Blood army that is invading the human lands. She goes into the camp and she becomes his seer, basically, and she is just part of his army. The one thing about Carissa Broadbent is you never know how her books are going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Was this one, because you didn't like the ending of the first book?
Yes, the ending of the very, very first book kind of made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really say much else without spoiling anything, but can I say, after reading further on in this series, I'm not as mad about it. Interesting. I'm still meh, but I'm not as mad about it now.
So, with that being said,
Mhm.
maybe you should give the Kingdom of the Wicked.
Maybe. Maybe
Just kidding.
later. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I think that this was a harder read after Six Scorched Roses because I was kind of in that mindset in a novella. And this was a novel.
I need to continue this series because when we went and saw her, that was our first author event.
Mhm.
That's so cute. Man, the things that have happened since then.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember her talking about how she wasn't that thrilled or excited about writing this middle duology. She was like very excited for this last duology that's coming out. And so just her talking about it made me kind of like to read the middle one. But I am very excited for the last one, and I need to read to like so I can be prepared when those books come out because she was just all hyped about it. Up next, I have another arc. It was Wings of Ash and Flame by Jocelyn Blue. This is if you like Zodiac Academy, like it gave me Hunger Games, Zodiac Academy, Fourth Wing vibes. This book has deadly trials involved in it. Kind of also gave me vibes of Crescent City with the different houses. It has 8 houses in it, and actually one of them is kind of extinct, I would say. There's nobody living that belongs to that house. So, in their little council that they have, that seat is always empty. This book follows a girl named Alaire, and she has grown up thinking that she's human. However, her parents died in a horrible fire, and she has no memory of what happened prior to that. So, she's about 10, 11 years of age, and then she gets put into an orphanage. And once she becomes of age, she's living on the streets. So there's also Fae involved, but at one night out of every year, the Fae leave the humans alone because they think that humans are lesser than. And so the humans essentially get like one night of reprieve. So she is just walking down the street and she sees a human boy and he was trying to get some food and the Fae punished him for that. So they were actually whipping him, and she could not just let that go. She then gets in trouble and gets thrown into a prison, which is disgusting. Horrible things happen to her until one day when this mysterious man shows up and tells her that she can either stay in prison or come with him to a Fae academy. And she's like, "But I'm not Fae. I don't have any powers. Why would I go?" And he's like, "Well, you could stay here." And she's like, "Okay, good point. I'm going to go." All the Fae are kind of mean to her and they're wondering how she tricked her way to get into this school. This school then has like these trials that you have to pass in order to graduate. And it's only 2 years. You have your novice and then you have your veterans, essentially. So your veterans are paired up with your rookies, and if your rookie doesn't survive the trials, then you fail as a veteran and also don't pass. So Alaire gets partnered up with Damon, who is top of his class, a king. Well, not a king. He's a prince of one of the elite houses. I do feel like a lot in this book follows a lot of other trends we have seen in other popular books. This book does end on a cliffhanger. Again, another cliffhanger. And I didn't see it coming. So that is something that I really like drawn me into it. Although this book had a lot of things that I have already seen before, I did not see the ending of this one. The plot twist in it, I was like, okay, you got me. Like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, kind of like on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been here, done this already. But the ending, I was like, so if you can get past of like reading all the things that you have already kind of read about, it is different. It's not the same. I think you would really enjoy it. And especially if you can last until the very end with that cliffhanger.
I read Dawn and the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole, which was book 3 of the Gods and Monsters series. As always, Amber V. Nicole, this series is really, really good overall. I really, really like it a lot. I do have to say, though, unfortunately, this is my least favorite of the 3. And I still love the character. Oh, the characters are just so dang good in this series. It's so good. To me, there were things that happened in this book that were, I say unrealistic. It's about gods and monsters. So, like, I understand. You can save the criticisms, okay? And I want to give an example so badly, but I don't want to spoil anyone. But there's like a perfect example that I just like, I'll spoil something that happens in the book. But just certain things happen at certain times. And I'm like, that shouldn't have happened, or that shouldn't have been so easy, or it shouldn't have happened that way. And it's not oh, I wish it would have happened this way. It's like small things, you know? I do have to say though, like after the first part of the book, the second part, like those small little plot details that were kind of like annoying me kind of went away, and the plot was plotting, and I am ready for book 4.
We're ready.
I am so
I'm not ready, but I'm ready.
Yeah, this series is if you like fantasy, you're really gonna like this series, I think.
Especially with a villain FMC. Diana is complete.
Diana is so cool.
Yeah. I want to be her when I grow up. My next book is also an ARC. It is Fate's Guardian by Kiera A. Reynolds. This book is actually had a really unique take on it. It had like a religious aspect to it, which I don't see terribly a lot in fantasy books, the way that this was written. And I actually quite enjoyed it in that sense. The ending of this book felt so predictable, which I know a lot of times it can seem predictable and you might have a general idea of what's going to happen. But with this one, it was just like too obvious and too, it didn't shock me. It had no shock value. And that's what I'm just like, like, okay. But the concept of the book was actually really had me interested. All of the high priestess and priests in this city take care of dragons. The gods of this world were too powerful to overrule the humans, and so they gave some of their power to dragons. So dragons kind of overlook all the humans and take care of them, like the harvesting and time, life, fate. And the 4 dragons, fate, death, time, and life, they're like the paramount. They're like the top dragons with the most power. Those are the ones that are protected within the little religious, like, world within, and then they have guardians that take care of those 4 dragons, and you're bonded to these dragons. If something happens to them, then you also die. So Amory is Fate's guardian. She also grew up from nothing, worked really hard to put her into this position of power so she can take care of herself and always be able to defend herself. And then there is this other group of people that do not believe that dragons actually hold all the power. They're just these animals and we should just kill them all. Emmerich is a part of this population that thinks that the dragons really don't have power. He grew up in the slums and kind of had a hard life. So they try to overtake and kill all the dragons, and Emmerich gets caught. So he gets thrown into the dungeon, and Amory has to kind of watch over him. So the priest and priestess, and also her dragon, say, we shouldn't torture him. We should give him some jobs to do and kind of build his trust so he can give us information. So no dragons die. Follows their story, which was a really good story up until the end of just like the shock value was just not there for me. Does end on a cliffhanger. I don't know. It's different. It was a different fantasy book than what I typically would have read. So I like the difference. It just was the ending didn't stick. I'm excited for this one.
I read Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. And this was actually my book club suggestion for last book club, and it didn't get picked. It was actually the first one to be eliminated. It kind of gave me spooky, creepy vibes. September 1st happened, and I'm like, spooky season. So I was like, I really want to read it. And this is a 6-star God tier book for me. It's a standalone. So that's awesome.
That is crazy.
This book was so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the book follows Liska, and they are in Poland. And so this also has a lot of like Polish like not fairy tales, but like
Lore.
yeah, thank you. It has a lot of Polish lore. And so there are some terms that I didn't quite understand, but like it gives plenty of context clues. You get it, you
Yeah.
know. But anyways, it follows Liska, and she is a village girl, and she has magic, and you are not supposed to have magic. If you have magic, then everyone is scared of you.
Oh.
They'll kill you too.
Okay.
Scared of you, and so she doesn't understand it. She helps heals animals and stuff, but like, someone sees it and they're like, oh my gosh, and her emotions go out of control, and then they die accidentally. She didn't do it on purpose. She just didn't know what her
She just
magic
got
could do.
freaked out. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a big celebration going on, and she's like, I have to get rid of this magic because I just want to live my village girl life. I want to get married. I want to take care of my animals and my farm. I just want this life.
I just want to be Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a legend that there is a flower in this woods. It's the spirit woods. And so if she gets this flower, then she can make a wish, and she wants to wish for her magic to go away.
Ooh.
So she does end up finding the flower, but then the Lezzie finds her. The Lezzie is the warden of the woods, and he is a demon. And he says, you found this flower, but I'm not going to give it to you though. If you serve me for a year, I will grant you any wish your heart desires. And so
Service.
So this is a YA book.
Oh.
So not that kind of service.
When you read too much dark romance.
So this book follows, her time with him, and if you are interested in like the tropes or whatever, it has big found family vibes. This story was heavily inspired by Howl's Moving Castle. There's a sentient house, the manor. It kind of like, it doesn't talk, but it definitely listens and has its own feelings and stuff. And it's just that story between them and her finding herself, and it's just a beautiful story, and I loved it so much. I was stuck on a plane when I finished it. I did tear up on the plane. I did tear up on the plane, and
You
I
do know that's a good book when she cries,
yeah,
just FYI.
and I don't I think if I was not on the plane, it might have happened. I think, yeah. It was so good. I want you to read it so bad. I loved it so much. It was beautiful.
I will read it.
Yeah. I loved it so much. It is YA, so there's that.
Don't sleep on my.
Don't sleep on YA.
Yeah, that should be our motto, I feel like.
Yeah.
We should get t-shirts made.
Don't
Don't sleep
sleep
on
on YA.
YA.
Yeah. This book, I don't know why this book is not more hyped. I honestly have not seen it on Book Talk or social anything. I bought it because of the cover. The
Yeah.
cover is absolutely gorgeous. I followed the illustrator on Instagram, and everything that they have on their Instagram is just amazing.
It's incredible.
So yeah, highly recommend.
When did this come out?
2024.
Oh.
So, and then, so this author only has 2 books out right now. So this one came out in 24, and then A Treachery of Swans came out this year. And then, because I have now followed her everywhere, and I am now obsessed with her.
I know where she sleeps. I know
Yeah.
where she eats.
And she is working on a 3rd book, and she has kind of like it's pinned at the top of her Instagram page, and it kind of starts to give some of the tropes, but she hasn't given all the tropes. And I'm just so excited. I just want you to read it. It's so good. Perfect for spooky season. Oh my gosh.
How big is it? How many pages?
The Barnes and Noble edition has an extra chapter at the end too. Highly suggest reading it. This is about 350 pages.
Oh, that's not bad. I can't get past that how pretty it is.
It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Liska and the Leslie, by the way. So this is our main character, and then the Leslie. So yeah. And yes, he has horns.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I thought
Antlers. He has antlers.
I thought that was like a part of the tree.
Nope, that he has antlers.
Interesting.
So see, there you go.
Finally, the last books that I read was the whole Edge of Darkness trilogy by Leigh Rivers. And I did immersive read this one. It has Teddy Hamilton as the MMC chef's kiss because he's great. And especially in dark romance, I feel like he does so good. He has that voice. This series follows Cade and Stacy. Cade and Stacy go through some shit. Like, this series goes through some of the hardest topics imaginable. Feel like Leigh Rivers connects you with the characters. Cade has always been in love with Stacy, and Stacy is his sister's best friend. So they kind of like have this relationship where they can't really be together because his sister, like, they don't want to make the sister weird about it. Cade also has a father who is a murderer and is in jail. So he's worried about like his mental health as well. It definitely dips its toes into a lot of hard subjects. So if you do read this series, highly suggest reading the trigger warnings. There's quite a few of them, but the way that she wrote about them, it has you relatable in a way that you feel the pain of the characters and the growth that they come away from it. Like, you are just rooting for them, even though all these bad things just continue to keep happening. And it's just like, when can these characters get a break? Does end in a happily ever after. So that is, I feel like, a good thing for me with this, because it was just so dark and heavy that if it didn't end in a happily ever after, I don't know if I would have liked them as much just because of how hard it was. And if you like audiobooks rather than reading, the audiobooks are so good.
So now we are going to go over our October hopefuls, what we want to read in October. Hopefully.
It's going to be a rough month.
Yeah, the list is quite long.
First up, in preparation for Mate, I need to read Bride by Allie Hazelwood. Can't believe I haven't read this yet.
Me too. I think you're going to really like it.
We'll see.
Continuing on the Carissa Broadbent train, I'm going to catch up on the Crowns of Nyaxia series by doing the duology, Songbird and Hearthstone, Fallen in the Kiss of Dusk. I'm very excited to get caught up on this series.
Next, I plan to read The Games Gods Play because the things gods Break is coming out in October as well, and I want to read that whenever it comes out. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I just wanna read it.
I plan on reading Alchemized by Sin Lin Yu. I actually tried to read this last month and I started the audiobook and I quickly realized it is too much information for just an audiobook. That I need to eyeball read it slash immersive read it. So I kind of soft DNF'd it, I think at like 10%. So I'm going to try again this month to read it.
Have you read Manacled?
I have not. I have it downloaded on my old Kindle when it was still available for download. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go into this with a fresh mind.
I have quite a few arcs this month as well, one of them being A Tempest of Ravens by E.A. Bard. Another arc that I have is The Serpent Prince by Jacqueline Gilmore. This next arc is Daughter of Stone by B.A. Pepper. Another arc that I have is Bloody Black by Rhiannon Hargadon. This is a retelling of Blackbeard, who Blackbeard is the FMC, which is really cool and interesting. I'm excited about it.
I plan on reading Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. We are going to go see her this month. Whoop whoop. So excited. Plan on doing the same kind of vlog style that we did with RF Kwong. I'm going to take you along the journey with us, and then we'll give you a non spoiler and spoiler review at the end. I'm very excited to see her.
Me too. Next up, I'm going to read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I initially thought that the next book was going to come out in October. However, it got pushed back until April of next year, which is okay. I have been wanting to read this book.
I mean, it's not like, you'll still have a small amount of time before it comes out. Like, surely you'll still remember some of it, you know?
Mhm.
Not like when it first released, like it's been what, a couple years now at this point? A year or
Ye-
two?
Yeah, I think it came out in 2024.
And October's book club book is Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. And so we are both going to be reading this. And if you would like to read along with us, you can join our Fable, and it has chapter by chapter discussion points so you can talk about what you want without getting spoiled. This is also going to be a duology. This is book 1, and book 2 is set to release in April of 26.
Actually one of my coworkers came up, and this book, if you buy something at Barnes, you can get it for $5. And my coworker said that she was telling me about a book that she got for $5, and she had already read it and was telling me how much she actually enjoyed it. And I didn't know what she was talking about until I went to Barnes and Noble, and I was like, "Oh, that's the book." And then she kind of gave me a little blurb about it, and I was like, that's what I'm reading. So I'm even more excited about this book.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. How much did you read this month? And what do you plan on reading for spooky season? Thanks, Coven members. Bye.